Running Dapr on Kubernetes? Put your cluster on autopilot with Diagrid Conductor. Conductor quickly and securely connects all your Kubernetes clusters running Dapr and delivers operational excellence, increased security, reliability, and insights to your applications. You can also include Dapr open source enterprise support from Diagrid, completely taking away the operational burden of running Dapr in production. Here I'm on the cluster dashboard, where you can view all your clusters with Dapr installed, wherever they are running, across clouds and environments. Adding a new cluster takes less than a minute. Conductor supports all Kubernetes distributions, including AWS, Azure, GCP, OpenShift, and even local deployments like Kind and Minikube. Specify the cluster type that matches your environment. For production clusters, you can also include Dapr open source support in your Diagrid plan with SLAs as low as 1 hour. Install the Dapr control plane in just one click, or upgrade an existing control plane installation, enabling Conductor to take over managing your Dapr configuration. Choose a supported version of Dapr, along with the namespace the Dapr control plane will be installed into, making sure you're always up to date with the open source version support policy. Use one of the provided Helm arguments profiles with recommended settings for development and production values, or edit the values yourself to make any desired changes. Dapr provides end-to-end encryption between your apps, and with Conductor, managing MTLS certificates has never been easier. Enable automatic root certificate rotation, and decide the renewal frequency and window for when these should be rotated, ensuring you never incur downtime from a certificate expiry again. Finish creating the cluster connection and install the Conductor agent using the generated Kubernetes kubectl command. For DevOps and GitOps workflows, you also have the option of installing the Conductor agent onto your cluster via the Diagrid CLI or Kubernetes operator. Once the agent is installed, you can immediately dive into the cluster dashboard that surfaces up the most critical issues and insights to your teams. See insights broken into categories across the cluster, applications, and Dapr infrastructure components. In the Cluster Insights section, take a deeper look into the Dapr control plane. Here you can monitor uptime and that resource usage is behaving as expected, with a breakdown of the CPU and memory consumption of control plane pods over time. Conductor also has built-in alerts for control plane uptime, alerting your team if any core components of the system go down. Dive into additional settings that are important for Dapr operation, such as root certificate expiration date and if the control plane is deployed with MTLS enabled. Here you can also check your Dapr version and see if there are any upgrades available. With new versions coming out every 3 months and hot fixes coming out sometimes weekly, we know it can be difficult keeping up with a fast-moving open source project, which is why Conductor provides you with fail-safe, zero downtime upgrades and downgrades. The latest Dapr versions, including release candidates, arrive in Conductor within hours, and you can specify which applications you want to test out new versions with. Configure the Helm values in your cluster, and schedule the upgrade to be at a time when you're sure it won't affect your business continuity. Conductor also provides automatic version rollbacks and the ability to revert your cluster to the previous Dapr settings, ensuring that if your upgrade fails, you will not lose valuable time to outages. Ensuring you are production ready is Conductor's #1 priority. Stop spending days reading pages of docs to understand the benefits and implications of new Dapr features. Instead, be informed and apply best practice recommendations to prevent operator misconfigurations, enable observability features, and add additional layers of security to your apps. With over 40 recommendations tailored to your cluster, you can receive alerts for common issues such as manifests containing plain text secrets, apps accessing unscoped components, and the control plane running without encryption enabled. You have the option to fix advisories with a single click or dismiss them if they aren't relevant to your environment. Conductor Advisor allows you to reduce your cloud spend through detailed, actionable performance advisories that analyze your usage trends over time and recommend new resource requests and limits to your apps and Dapr sidecars. Monitor all Dapr-enabled apps running in your system with a detailed breakdown of the health status as well as any critical metrics or advisory insights that are firing for an application. View this in a dynamic graphical format on the apps graph, which renders a flowchart, allowing you to drill down into unhealthy applications and see how your apps are communicating, whether asynchronously through a message broker or directly via service invocation. Isolate on an app to view its infrastructure dependencies and to see real-time metrics data on the call chains between services, giving you a holistic view into your system architecture. Discover unsuspected high latency and error rates to help your team uncover app and infrastructure issues in minutes and lead you to a resolution quicker. By drilling into an application, you can see more information on Dapr app-specific properties, such as pod uptime, critical metrics alerts, and Dapr annotations your pod is deployed with. You can also easily view CPU requests and memory limits of your pods, as well as their actual CPU and memory usage over time, broken down by app container and Dapr sidecar, allowing you to right-size your Kubernetes workload. With over 150 metrics, monitoring Dapr can be overwhelming, which is why Conductor automatically ingests Dapr metrics for you and saves you from building out graphs to view critical HTTP and gRPC call data over time for golden metrics of latency, throughput, and error rate. To ensure your teams are alerted to what matters most, Conductor comes with 15 alerts out of the box that trigger on issues such as high Dapr error rates and component failures. You can also see Dapr sidecar logs directly in the portal and receive notifications for these errors in the Conductor UI via email or webhook for external integration, allowing Conductor to be your one-stop shop for Dapr monitoring. Alternatively, download the Conductor Grafana dashboard template for use with Prometheus and Grafana monitoring systems. Dapr is centered around components, and ensuring you know which components your app talks to is critical for infrastructure management. Conductor allows you to see component details, including whether a component has been active within the past 5 minutes and the initialization status to ensure your component can successfully access the underlying infrastructure resources. You can also get a view into the Dapr API calls made by your app to the component to ensure that your call chains are completing successfully end to end.